to What's Right with the World with your host, Glenn Ambrose.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So today we've got a special all about the wildfires in California. So Ben's going to lead us off with some amazing stories.
All right, yeah. So normally we've been doing a top three, and as I said on our Patreon page, there's too many feel good stories coming out of these ridiculously tragic wildfires. So as Glenn always talks about, whenever there's a tragedy, whenever there's a horrific event, anything like that, whenever there's a large bad news story like this, there's also a bunch of positive news stories that come from it. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. I figured we would just throw in, a bunch of them right off the bat. So the one that I just saw, Metallica, is, first of all, I said this the other day, there's too many celebrity helping other people stories for the wildfires right now to go through all of them. But like Dave Grohl delivers food to firefighters. Guy Fieri cooked food for a bunch of firefighters. Metallica just donated $100,000 to victims. Miley Cyrus and whichever Hemsworth she's with donated $500,000. They actually are victims of the wildfires themselves. They lost their home, but they donated $500,000 from their charity to victims. A California couple adopted a 93-year-old veteran after his town burned to the ground. A couple from Canada spent their entire vacation helping to battle the wildfire. A garbage man continued his route to check on victims, people that he knew that were elderly on his route that wouldn't have had a chance otherwise. So those are the stories, and I'm going to link as many as I can in the description of this episode. But yeah, so that's it, Glenn. Can we just talk a little bit about the amount of great news coming out of such a sad time?
Yeah, and I think it's obvious that it's expanding. That's one of the biggest things. Not only it's expanding in the ways people are doing it, and it's expanding in the numbers of it being done. And I think it's expanding with the publicity that it gets, so I think that those are all important parts. I mean, the things that they're doing specifically are wonderful. And then you start grouping them all together and you're like, oh my God, like there's lots of this stuff happening. It's happening on a more frequent basis. It's, people are getting more creative with it, which, I think that's amazing. It's kind of like the first time, I don't remember the specific situation, but the first time I remember somebody like going through a very difficult period, like going through a death, and somebody was like, yeah, what I'm going to do is we're making them food, preparing food for them for the week, and we're going to bring it over for them. So all in separate containers, and all they have to do is pop it in the microwave and just heat it up, or put it in the oven and heat it up or something. And they're just, so they've got enough on their mind. They won't have to worry about food. If they're hungry, they can just grab something. And I was like, oh my God. Like the first time I heard something like that, I was like, that's wonderful. Because that's practical. It's like, it's so much better than sending flowers, like it's because it's actually something that's going to, set their mind at ease. They don't have to, like, especially when they have kids and stuff, they have to worry about maintaining their children's lives when they're going through this difficult time. that just takes one more thing off the plate. And, and somebody else driving their kids to school for them. And, just stuff like that. I'm like, wow, that's thoughtful. That's beautiful.
When I was 9 years old, my sister passed away in a car accident. And I think that we still have leftovers from the amount of food that people
still have leftovers. How many years ago was that?
21 or something. Yeah, 21. And then, unfortunately, a few years after that, when I was in high school, there were two friends of mine. We all had older siblings, and within like a 6-year period, all of the older siblings died in car-related accidents. And so like a couple years later, unfortunately, another friend of the family passed away, and they lived down at the end of the street, and I carried a gigantic pot of like chili, and I walked it the entire way there. So that's that was something that always stuck out to me too, because it affected me at such a young age. People bringing other people food.
Yeah, and I think that's just such a good example of like some of the creativity that we're starting to see. People are starting to look at these situations and going, like people used to kind of lean back, I think, and go, well, I can't really do anything to help. And now people are leaning in and going, well, maybe I can, what can I do instead of I can't? And because they're looking for the answer of what can I do instead of into the energy of, I can't. Since they're leaning into the solution instead of the problem, they're coming up with more creative, legitimate ways that actually make a difference in ways we wouldn't think of firsthand.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff.
So that's it on that. We're also going to put a link in the description of the episode in case anybody wants to donate to the wildfire support for the victims of those wildfires in California. It's it's a really bad situation that could still use a bunch of help. So we're going to put that link in there. And Glenn, what's right in your world this week?
Well, I'm going to go specifically with today. I got a new sectional delivered this morning, and I'm very excited about it because I've got a wonderful place to live. I'm very happy with my first place in Florida, but I picked up this sectional and it was cheap, and I just grabbed it to have something, and it just was not working out, man. And the cushions was sliding all over the place. They're getting all lumpy, and it was like it just wasn't working. So like there's that little time where I just want to sit down and relax. And I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden, like half an hour later, I'm like this, like and those who can't see me.
He's completely slouched. Yeah,
I'm all slouched down, and and like I'm like, damn it, like it's a little annoying. It was a little annoying. So that's my high class problem. But so I finally said the heck with it, and got a new sectional delivered this morning, and got rid of my old one, and that is all done. So that was a really nice thing, and I'm really excited about that. So it's the little things. Sometimes. Awesome. How about you, Ben?
It's Thanksgiving in America this week. It's weird. I always feel weird on our shows that I have to say in America. But it's
but it's true. It's true, a worldwide show.
So it's Thanksgiving. This Thursday in America, and obviously that's cool. Families coming over the house, and roommates' families coming over the house, and it's cool. I'm sitting at a large dining room table at the moment, and it's cool. We're getting ready for it. I'm excited to, Thanksgiving I enjoy practicing gratitude. So Thanksgiving is a big holiday for me. I've always loved it. It was my grandmother's favorite holiday. So that was really cool to me. And then I can't wait for Friday to put all of our stuff back the way that it goes in our house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, and it's true. I have to, as you can tell, there is no preparation for this show because I would have mentioned Thanksgiving myself. I was, I was just focused on my sectional.
Oh yeah, you get to have Thanksgiving with your parents for the first time in a while.
Yeah, first time in many years because usually they're in Florida and I'm up in Rhode Island and I have it with my sister. So I'll miss having it with my sister because I liked doing that. I liked going up there, and sometimes I'd even go to my hometown in Massachusetts and watch a high school football game with my son and stuff. So that was always nice. But yeah, now I'm going to be able to spend it with my parents. And I think we're even going to go get 9 holes of golf in on Friday. So I don't think I have ever golfed with my parents. I'm pretty sure I have not.
Wow.
Because we haven't golfed our whole lives or anything. So it's kind of, they've done it a little bit here and there, and I've done it a little here and there. So it's kind of been sporadic. But that should be an interesting experience since I've been like maybe 3 times in the last 15 years. So,
well, all right. Well, if you are, a fellow American, happy Thanksgiving. If you're not, just thank you anyway.
Yeah.
And if you want to help support all of the victims of the wildfires in California, then check out the link in the description of this episode. That's it.
That's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk with you soon.
Glenn is available for life coaching sessions. To book an appointment or for more information, go to glennambrose.com, follow him on Facebook and Twitter, or click the link in the description of this episode.